We will convene the regular board meeting of the Monrovia Unified School District at 7:02. The Pledge of Allegiance will be led by Board Member Celine Lockerbie. Please rise.
Thank you, Mr. President. Place your right hand over your heart. Ready, begin. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you for everybody, or to everybody who is tuning in. As you will notice, because of COVID-19, the rules in California have been relaxed for public meetings. And you'll bear with me, I'm going to give you some information so how you can watch all your public boards in action. In compliance with the Governor of California's Safer at Home order, the Board of Education will be conducting its meetings virtually until further notice. This means that public access to the physical meeting will be eliminated. However, remote publication participation is allowed and encouraged. You may submit public comments via email before each meeting. Please send all public comments to public comments, that's plural, at monroviaschools.net to be read during public comments or at the items placed on the agenda. Lengthy public comments may be summarized in the interest of time. If you would like to watch or listen to the meeting from home, you may on your cable TV on KGEM Spectrum Channel 99 or Giggle Fiber Channel 87.2, or live stream online at www.foothillsmedia.org/MUSD. And if anybody has any questions on that, you're more than happy to call the school district at area code 626-471-2000 and ask for instructions on how to do this. We have everybody in attendance, even though we're virtual. And is there any change to, a report on closed session? We held a closed session prior to this meeting, and we took no reportable action. We have no presentations this evening. I would entertain a motion for our minutes.
President, can you clarify which minutes those were?
We're going to do, let's actually do them separately. The regular board meeting minutes.
So moved.
We have a motion. I need a second.
Second.
We have a second. Ms. Huff, may we have a vote, please?
Board Member Gilliland?
I'll abstain since I wasn't there.
Board Member Lockerbie?
Yes.
Board Member Travanti? Yes. Board Member Wong?
Yes.
Board President Hammond?
Yes.
Motion carries 4-0.
Up next is the minutes for a special meeting. And this special meeting is when the board came together to adopt an urgency resolution so that we could take action because of the health and safety for the COVID-19 situation. May I please have a motion?
So moved.
There's a motion. May I have a second?
Second.
Motion is second. Any discussion? Ms. Huff, may we please have a vote?
Board Member Lockerbie?
Yes.
Board Member Travanti? Yes. Board Member Wong?
Yes.
Board Member Gilliland?
Yes.
Board President Hammond?
Yes.
Motion carries 5-0.
Thank you. Dr. Trosen, you needed a change of order of business?
There is. We'd like to pull consent. Thank you. We're going to pull consent item 10 agreement with Parent Square and place it on as an action item to proceed pending board issues.
Can you please repeat what agenda item we are pulling?
We'll be pulling agenda item 10 in consent, the agreement with Parent Square, the pilot agreement with Parent Square, and place it on action to proceed pending board issues.
Any other changes?
There are none.
Do we have a student board member report?
We do not.
No, we do not.
Do we have a report from the superintendent?
We do. And if we can go to that report, I'd like to provide some information about the continuity of services that we've provided since our student dismissal. This is going back, that was a screenshot of our main page on the website. And both arrows, the first arrow leads parents, students, and educators to our learning platform that was designed almost overnight by 2 instructional specialists and Dr. Kaiser, Jen Malgin and Chad Miller. We also have our pre-recorded messages. Anybody can call in to hear the very latest, and it is a pre-recorded message in English and Spanish. Thank you, President Hammond and Board Clerk Travanti, for constantly updating those. On the next screen is simply that shot of the MUSD distance learning platform. There are many resources there, and it is a dynamic site. We are constantly updating it to make sure that there is information available. This is to serve as a resource center and a hub so that anybody who needs anything can access it through there. Now, of course, the first point of contact for any student is their teacher. Parents also, if you have any questions, please contact teacher. In the next slide, we have our meal distribution update, and these are individuals who are committed to our community, and they come in every day and distribute meals. On Friday, we have a local holiday, and so tomorrow we'll be distributing 2 meals. Excuse me. We'll be distributing 2 meals for Thursday and 2 meals for Friday, and we'll resume our regular daily schedule the following Monday, which is our spring break. This is a group of individuals who are so dedicated, and I am inspired by their compassion and their dedication. Students return to school. Hopefully all goes well on May 5th, 2020. This is certainly a longer dismissal from school than we had originally anticipated, and really my many, many thanks to everybody in this organization who is contributing to ensuring a continuity of learning and services. I'm not sure if Mr. Puvakin has had time to sleep since we went online, and he and his tech department have been on call daily. They've established hotlines for students and teachers. They're constantly ensuring that we have access and making sure that we find alternatives and resources for those who don't. This has been an incredible team effort, and I am so thankful to every employee, every member of this MUSD team who is contributing so much. We are all doing the very best we can in a very, very different platform, and every decision is based upon what's in the best interest in terms of safety and what's in the best interest of students. That concludes my, I think that concludes my report.
Okay.
Oh, it does.
It does.
I have confirmation.
I would like to make a comment. On behalf of the board, to every person who works in the Monrovia Unified School District, we know how hard you're working. We see the result of how hard you're working. We see the comments from parents, and you have made our district look so well because of the effort that's been put in. From our classroom teachers who are on the front line, making sure that the business of learning continues, to the custodians on campus who keep making them look good and clean and ready, all of our administrators making sure that their respective jobs are followed through on in support of all the teachers that are working on their campuses, to the district staff who is recreating how a school district operates almost daily, having to change how it operates. To our food service, who is literally, as Kathy Tarosian said today, they're the first responders to our students' needs first thing in the morning, who, when asked about, they were not scheduled to be in to work next week, but who volunteered to come in next week to make sure that the people in our district who need it the most will not go without. That is a quality of people that I like to work around. And I appreciate, I know the board appreciates everybody's effort to make sure that this is going to be happening with the least amount of impact as possible to those who probably have the worst of it when you start taking things away. And I am very, very proud to be a part of the school board here in Monrovia and the leadership here who has worked so hard, the school board, to give the folks here the tools they need to have so that our students are able to have the educational experience that they need. I just wanted to I wanted to thank everybody. No one ever sees the behind the scenes stuff, and you guys are a heck of a group of people to work with, and happy to be a part of it. Up next, we'll have.
Can I add to that, Rob?
Sure.
Because I don't think they get enough credit, and that's the tech department. They put us in a position that we could do this, and they worked tirelessly to make this happen so that our students can continue that educational endeavor through all of this. So they also just have gone above and beyond, as everybody has. But I think it's a testament that we can do this because of the position they put us in the first place.
Absolutely. It seems. Go ahead. Go ahead, Celine.
I just wanted to make a comment. Dr. Tarosian said something that was very important during her report, and she said that everything that's happening on the website and everything that everyone is doing is a dynamic and fluid and moving and ever-changing situation. I think she just said dynamic, but it is fluid and always changing. So I just wanted to remind everybody to continue to check the website and continue to check the superintendent updates and continue to check into things through the district site, through the school sites, however you are getting information from the district about the district, because things are changing, things are evolving, things are thriving, and it takes some time to put that together. We're ahead of the curve on that, really, but things are going to continue to change, and I wanted to make sure that everyone heard that this is dynamic and understands that they need to continue to check the website, the parent portal, and the superintendent's updates so that they can get all of the information that they need.
Anybody else wish to make a comment? Okay. We're going to move on to public comments. Ms. Huff, did anybody send in a comment?
Yes, for President Hammond, there's one public comment, and I'll go ahead and read it. It's a little lengthy.
Okay.
Hi, my name is Julie Bank, and my son is a sixth grader at Clifton Middle School. I have a question about video teaching. I very much appreciate the school board, administrators, and teachers during this crisis. You guys have been handling it like pros, and every day it gets better. With that said, I was wondering about the plans to do video conferencing and lessons. The assignments and email interactions have been fine, but without actual teacher lessons, I feel like they are left to learn on their own and are just doing assignments with no understanding on how to do it. I have been working alongside of my son, FYI, and in most cases, I am keeping up. But in some cases, like math, it's difficult, and without a teacher, instructor, the learning is stalled a bit. I asked our principal about this. She got back to me right away, by the way, and I learned that it depended on the teacher and their desire and comfort. I also understand that there are possible union contract issues, but we are in an unprecedented time, and I think that everyone should be working together for what is best. Is there a clause about the district making change during times of disaster? Friends in other districts have been doing video lessons from the start. Is there a way that teachers can use technology like Zoom or Google Classroom or some other platform to do a lesson as if they were in class? You can follow the same schedule as school, or the teachers can video themselves once doing the instruction and send it out to the kids to watch. Can we plan for this when we return back to school after break and through the end of this? My son and his friends have been using this technology to connect with each other. They learned it in 2 minutes, so I'm sure the teachers can too. Again, thank you to everyone on how hard you're working towards communication and learning. I know it takes time to ramp up and things are changing every day. If you're already working on this, I hope we can consider it and start working together on this soon. I am happy to help in any way I can. Stay safe and healthy, Julie Bank.
Okay, we will take that letter, and Dr. Terosian, will you please address the issues that are on there?
Yes, of course.
Okay. Do we have anybody else, Ms. Huff?
There are none.
Okay, thank you. So we will close public comments, and we'll move on to the consent calendar. I'll entertain a motion on consent, please.
I move we pass consent with item 10 removed.
I'll second that.
A motion and a second. Is there any discussion? Maybe please have a vote.
Board Member Travanti?
Yes.
Board Member Wong?
Yes.
Board Member Gilliland?
Yes.
Board Member Lockerbie?
Yes.
Board President Hammond?
Yes, yes.
I'm sorry, I can't hear you.
I thought I was going through puberty for a second. Yes. My voice cracked, and I was like, whoa, that hasn't happened in about 30-something years.
Motion carries 5-0.
Thank you. Up first is Educational Services, Dr. Kaiser.
Yes, President Rob Hammond and board. Tonight we have, we're bringing, the Board of Education was requested to approve an amendment to the Local Control Accountability Plan, the LCAP. Can you all hear me?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, here we go. I'm sorry. I feel like I'm in a bubble here. The rationale is that this amendment is being brought forward to revise the LCAP federal addendum, which is comprised of Titles 1, 2, 3, and 4. And tonight we're looking at Title 4. Our amount has been adjusted from the government from $71,044 to $139,861,000, and this includes our carryover. And so with these funds, there are 3 goals for these funds. One is well-rounded education, another is safe and healthy students, and the other portion is technology. And there are restrictions on amounts that are spent out of each one of these categories. And so we have revised the plan now includes for the wellness section weight room at the high school, because the weight room at the high school right now is more than 20 years old and it's in need of being refurbished. And this is an allowable expense from this fund. Another portion of this fund we looked at is we increased the technology portion to include an additional $10,000 in the area of technology equipment. And in the situation that we're in right now, we are needing to spend some money on technological equipment. So these are the revisions for this, and we're seeking to have this approved tonight.
Any questions? I'll entertain a motion.
So moved.
I'll move to a second.
We have a motion and a second. Is there any more discussion? Ms. Huff, will you please call the roll?
Board Member Wong,
Yes.
Board Member Gilliland,
Yes.
Board Member Lockerbie,
Yes.
Board Member Travanti,
Yes.
Board President Hammond.
Yes.
Motion carries 5-0.
Up next, we have Dr. Kaiser for the extreme training equipment purchase.
Correct. Board President Hammond and board members, this is an agenda item where we are requesting for the board to approve the purchase of the equipment from Extreme Training Equipment Factory Outlet for the weight room at Monrovia. And the rationale is that this is part of the physical fitness program at the high school. And in terms of the physical fitness test, the students are tested in 9th grade with the high fitness zones, and strength and agility are a couple of those zones. And so with this weight room, it's really a necessary piece of the equipment that the high school people need in order to help our students achieve the fitness levels that they need to be achieving for life, for their wellness, and for the physical fitness test. The budget implication is that this weight room will cost $29,320, and it will be paid for from the Title IV funds.
Any questions of Dr. Kaiser? Sue, I do have one question. Is this replacing equipment, or is it going to augment the equipment that we currently have?
What the athletic director will do is take out the pieces that are worn, and it will replace the pieces that are worn with more updated equipment. And there may be some pieces that remain that are still usable, but they are replacing and they're augmenting.
Thank you.
So are they replacing like for like? So if they take out an old squat machine, will they replace it with a squat machine or just something else?
No, it's like for like, and they have their eye on the fitness zones and the pieces of strength that they need to target that the old gym was targeting. Again, they may leave some of the pieces that are still good, like the free weights are not worn, and so those will be left. These other pieces will be added to the gym, so that they are replacing like for like, and there may be a couple of new pieces that come in with this. So primarily, the bulk of it is like for like. Yes, they're not losing anything.
Any other questions? May we please have a vote?
To get a motion?
Oh, yeah, we should do that first. I'll entertain a motion for it.
So moved.
Second.
Motion and a second. Any discussion? May we please have a vote?
Board Member Gilliland,
Yes.
Board Member Lockerbie,
Yes.
Board Member Travanti,
Yes.
Board Member Wong,
Yes.
Board President Hammond.
Yes.
Motion carries 5-0.
Thank you. Up next, Ms. Wu, a report, please, on the Mayflower roof. Connie? Connie?
Yes, can you hear me?
Okay, I can hear you now. If you could give us a report, please, on the Mayflower roof.
Okay, Fernando, are you on? Could you please present this agenda item?
I am. I'm here. Good evening.
Hi, Fernando.
Can everybody hear me?
Yes.
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 Well, good evening, Board President Hammond, board members, Dr. Therosian, and members of Cabinet. So I'm here to ask the Board of Education to approve the repairs and installation of drains at 3 buildings, the administration building, first grade and second grade at Mayflower, at a cost of $28,269,000. As you can see on those pictures, there's a dire need to get that roof repaired before it gets more expensive and it gives us a lot more problems. So we received 3 bids, ATCO being the lowest one, the lowest bid. This company has been around for over 30 years. So research was done by myself. I work with this company at my other district as well. So it is a reputable company. Are there any questions?
Any questions of Fernando? Celine?
Yes.
I have a question, and if you don't have the answer to it right now, that's understandable, and you can get that to the board at a later time. In the background for this agenda item, it says that the condition of the drains creates ponding water that penetrates and creates wood rot. Has the wood rotted yet?
I believe there's small sections, visible sections, but we have not peeled back enough to see what other damage has caused. I believe that it is important for us to take care of this problem before it becomes, like I said, before it becomes more problematic.
So this cost does not include any possible or potential repair to any possible or potential rot. It's just to, and not just, but it's exclusively going to focus on the drainage.
That is correct. And by the inspections of this, the professional people that did this in-depth inspection, it doesn't appear to be, problems, bigger problems in terms of rotting. The only reason I said in May, maybe just on the edges where the fascia may lay, not significant whatsoever. Otherwise, they would have reported that to me.
Thank you.
No problem.
Any other
Fernando?
questions? Oh, go ahead.
Yes. So I see a significant amount of debris on the roof there. Is that contributing to the problem? If that's the case, is that because there are trees or limbs nearby that's dropping significant amount of debris? I mean, what are we doing to mitigate that once we fix this problem?
Yes, and I have staff that work basically year-round, cleaning up the drains, not only for that site, but throughout all the sites. They clean them out, but I believe that with the recent rains and all that stuff, it's kind of hard to keep up and get there's still trees around that area. And, that's also, that shows that the importance of why we have to maintain those trees and keep on maintaining those trees. I hope that answers you.
Yes, Fernando. I know that you and the department have been working in that area significantly. It's definitely proof that that's important to do and keep up. Thank you.
No problem.
Fernando, I do have a question.
So Fernando, is this?
Go ahead, Ed.
If we approve this tonight, will this be done before May 5th?
That would be up to Connie. Can you answer that one for me, please?
Ed, can you repeat again? The voice is not clear.
My question.
Mm-hmm.
And my question is, if we approve this tonight, will we be able to get the work done by May 5th, by the time students come back?
Yeah, so if the board approve tonight, and then I will contact the contractor, look at the schedule. If they can schedule work and start immediately, we would like to bring them in to start the work.
Great.
Thank you, Connie.
Okay.
Any other questions?
I have a quick question. How do these contractors, do they fall under an essential working group? Meaning, can we have them come out?
Yes, they do.
Yes.
Thank you.
And Fernando, I have a question. I think I want to go back in and visit where Celine was for just a moment. When they take the old off, if there is rot, how are they going to reattach it?
So
Can I jump in there, Fernando?
Sure.
Having been in the business for so many years, Rob, I've seen so many roof contracts, and you contract for the work that you can see.
Right.
But invariably, when you tear off the roofing, you find some rot, some things that you can't foresee, and very typical on a roofing contract to have a change order to cover what is necessary. So without having the roof off, there's really no way to tell exactly what's going to be damaged, if anything, and how that might be fixed. So you can't really contract it before you take the roof off, and you don't want to take the roof off till you're ready to do the work. So typically, the roofing contract is awarded, the contractor goes to work, they get it off, and if there is any damage, at that time you agree on how and the price for repairing that extra damage. That's typical for roofing contracts.
Thanks, Ed. Appreciate that.
I wanted
My
to
experience.
add more to that question, if I could. If they find more, will they do the repair work, or do we have to find another contractor, get a bid, bring it to the board, have it approved, have them do the work, and then have this contractor complete the work?
So they will be doing the repairs if needed. If those repairs or the change order, as Ed mentioned, exceed the $10,000, that will be brought up to the board, of course. I just want to make something clear here. So they will be working around the drain. They're going to be repairing some of those tiles. You see that picture on the left, those clay tiles. There's broken tiles around those buildings, and that's included in the quote as well. So going back to the drains, we need to get that water off that roof. Every time it rains, we need to have it drain effectively. So what they're going to be doing, you can tell those drains are above water level, so they're going to bring them down. So they're going to tear around that. They're going to frame that, and then install those drains.
Okay. Any other questions?
Does this include guttering? Is this linked to gutters?
It does not include the gutters. That can come later. I have to revisit and see the condition of those gutters. I believe the gutters are in good shape. Otherwise, they would have also reported it or put it on that report as well. But again, I'll have to revisit that and come back to you on that one. But it does not include the gutters.
Thank you, Fernando.
Any other questions? Entertain a motion.
So moved.
Second.
Motion and a second. Is there any discussion? Maybe please have a vote.
Board Member Gilliland,
Yes.
Board Member Lockerbie,
Yes.
Board Member Travanti,
Yes.
Board Member Wong,
Yes.
Board President Hammond.
Yes.
Motion carries 5-0.
Thank you. Going on to board business, Dr. Tarosian.
Thank you.
Thank you, Fernando and Connie. Dr. Tarosian, pending board issues.
Thank you, President Hammond, members of the board.
Excuse me.
Yes.
I believe we moved item 10 from the consent agenda to before the pending board issues, didn't we?
I have it for
Yeah.
following.
Okay.
No, it's in the right order. Parent Square.
Right. We're gonna do Dr. Tarosian board issues, and then do the number 10.
Oh,
Great.
But that's how I wrote it. We can go back. Ed, you're fine. Let's do this. Let's go take up the matter.
That's
of number,
great.
No, we're going to take up matter of number 10 right now. Parent Square. Dr. Tarosian.
thank
I
you.
wrote it down wrong.
Can you give me a moment to go back to it in my agenda,
Sure.
please?
President Hammond, members of the board, this pilot agreement with Parent Square is primarily aimed at increasing our communication. Board member Lockerbie, are you in the current location? Okay. One of the things that we have discussed in this district is how to better connect our entire community and provide a seamless communication system with parents and teachers, and provide a warehouse for paperwork like field trip approvals. And we've talked about this, but we really haven't pursued it any further, and thought that with the different systems that we had in place, that we were really meeting our need and did not need to encumber anything else or any other funds in order to create a seamless communication system. During this crisis, we learned that some of our information was outdated, that it was not a constantly updating system. We had multiple challenges before us. We use multiple systems, and none of them are entirely aligned with our foundation, which is Aries Communicate, which is Aries, our student information system. So what we found was a gap, and what we have now is an opportunity to pull it all together through a single portal, so that communication is effective, seamless, and timely. We had looked at Aries Communicate in the past as a means through which to connect with parents and have teachers connect with parents, and it didn't meet all of our needs. Aries Communicate is now going to be bought by Parent Square, and so it is a third party, but it will include seamless communication through all three and allow for alerts and notifications, two-way dialogue between student or parent and teacher, and allow for the collection of emergency cards and as I said, field trip requests, permission slips, whatever it is. And so this becomes a far more effective tool through which to communicate from school to home, and certainly an interactive way. It also allows for direct messaging, as I mentioned before, between whether it's the principal and a parent or a teacher and a parent, and allows for immediate translation. And that can be one of the settings that the parent or the teacher can adjust as they engage in that conversation. So I do want to assure you, though, that it maintains the privacy of all of our students and all the information that we have within our student information system, compliant with our all the laws, and all the different acronyms are listed here on that final page. Do you have any questions?
Dr. Therosian?
Yes.
Oh, were you done?
I am.
This is a pilot agreement through June 30th of this year.
Correct.
Is there any provision in that to extend that out if we don't, if we're not able to resume schooling this year?
Yes, absolutely. And if it seems to go well, we can also extend it into the following year. So there's
At cost or as a free trial? I mean, if we sign it up now and we don't use it for 3-5 months, it would seem that should extend that trial.
It would.
On that contract.
It would. We would be able to go through June 30th, let's say, of 2021. So more than that traditional year. Mm-hmm.
Are there any other questions?
So, Dr. Therosian? I do. Dr. Therosian, as you know, I have kids in the district. They've been in for 7 years now, and they've got several more years to go. Over that course of time, I have used to communicate with the school or the principal or the PTA, remind, just so many different programs from year to year. Sometimes they have changed. Is your concept of Parent Square that Parent Square will replace all of those and make it the same district-wide so that parents and teachers and administrators don't have to learn a new program every year or every few years or change?
That is exactly the intent, Board Member Lockerbie, and it is something that PTAs would be able to use as well, because some of those systems that you've had to learn have been from PTAs as well. So this would create that universal communication system. We'll all be speaking the same language through the same platform.
Wonderful. Now, I know some teachers are very attached to the programs that they use. Does this prevent them from also using supplemental things if they use it just in the classroom? Or is this varied enough to be able to take the place of everything?
One of the things that I asked was, how does it coordinate with Google Classroom, for example, which is our platform of choice in general? And one of the things they said was it is seamless with the Google Suite and Google Classroom. It will do something that Google Classroom without it can't do, and it's something that I hadn't even considered as a need before looking into it now. It will tell the teacher who has and has not accessed Google Classroom. So it becomes an
This is
information.
going to enhance the things that our teachers and our administrators already use.
It can work with most of the things that our teachers and administrators already use and enhance their functionality, as in that example through Google Classroom.
Thank you for pulling this and giving more information about this.
Yes.
I have something. So I just want you to reiterate again, because I've heard from a lot of parents out there, and also being a parent with a child in the school district, that Aries has made it very difficult or not easy to be able to communicate with a click or two to their teachers. I mean, they really have to dig to try to find that email address or hope that they saved it to their contacts. So this new system will enhance that. They'll be able to just click right in to send an email to their teachers.
That is correct.
Or principal.
Yes.
Okay, perfect.
It may be
that's very much.
It may be a two-click system, but it will be easy, and it
Two
will
clicks,
be
I think,
consistent.
is still fine. Yes, but not have to dig too far to be able to do that.
That's
so that's great. The other thing I wanted to know is this a system where it's bilingual? You'll be able to have, flip it and put it in Spanish. Does it have that capability?
It has many, many languages, and I've tested the functionality with Armenian, and it's fairly good.
Okay, great. All right. And then Celine touched on the other items that I had, so I'm good. Thank you.
Any other questions? Entertain a motion.
So moved.
So moved.
We have a motion and a second. Is there any more discussion? Ms. Huff, we have a vote, please.
Board Member Lockerbie?
Yes.
Board Member Travanti?
Yes.
Board Member Wong?
Yes.
Board Member Gilliland?
Yes.
Board President Hammond?
Yes.
Motion carries 5-0.
Okay. Board business.
There are a couple of changes with our pending board issues. All of our board walks scheduled will need to be postponed. They're all in April, and hopefully we'll be able to reschedule them in May. Additionally, at our last meeting, we brought in an update to our board policy regarding emergency measures and preparedness, and we will bring it back at a future board meeting. We did not have a chance to pull the recommendations into the policy itself.
That's it.
Dr. Therosi and I noticed going through this that the student dismissal is likely to affect many of these reports and all the work people are doing. I wonder if it would be appropriate for you and President Hammond to go through that kind of item by item and relook at time frames for those things. Also would ask if maybe we want to add an update at some point in time on how the one we just passed anyway, yeah,
The pilot agreement with Parents
Square, yeah. If we could get an update on how Parents Square is working for both staff and parents, because I've been on the board a long time, and it's been an issue since I've been on the board. Is the communication with parents is so important, and yet as communication tends to be, it's a struggle. So maybe we could get a report on what this pilot is looking like after appropriate period of time.
Yes, of course.
Any other comments? Okay. Our next regularly scheduled meeting will be in this platform on April the 8th at 7 p.m., followed by a meeting on April the 22nd. As you've heard, boardwalks have been suspended until further notice. And right now, I'm going to read off a lot of postponements. All MUSD open houses have been postponed. The MEO games have been postponed. The Taylor Performing Arts Theater Gala has been postponed. This Friday, even though it's Cesar Chavez Day, and it bears saying again, we were already going to be closed, and we were not going to be having food service because we were already closed in our regular schedule, and our food service department is going to be providing lunches. It'll be given on Thursday for a 2-day supply. Spring break that won't exist this year will go on, and as we talked earlier, food services will be distributing food all that week as well. There will also be some other training. Are we still going forward with the active shooter? Doesn't seem quite right.
I will confirm that with Monrovia Police Department. With the
Okay.
chief.
And I think what we'll do is we'll put that information on the website, because if all of a sudden people start seeing massive amounts of police officers at one of our schools or over at MHS, or at Clifton rather, it will create quite a buzz. So we'll probably have some signage out, A-frames out. This is not real. And so as folks who are already on pins and needles don't need to have anything else. If there is no further business before this body, we will stand adjourned.
Well,
I'm sorry.
Rob, before you adjourn, can I just clarify that the next meeting will be in the same format? So will there be an opportunity for public comments at the time, or do they need to get their public comments in before the meeting once they see the agenda?
Good point. All public comments until we return to our normal way of running the meetings will be done in advance for public comment. The doors to the building are locked. There's no access to the public at this meeting. So any questions that you have, please send them in before the meeting. You can either talk to a board member or call the district, talk to Ms. Huff, and we can get you into the platform where you need so you can get your question answered or asked, and then get it directed to where it gets answered.
And President Hammond, this is due to an exception signed by Governor Newsom to the Brown Act, correct?
Correct.
I have a question. I think it would go under new business. I'm not sure if it's in the right place. Correct me if I'm wrong. I wanted to ask if we are looking at a different type of structure for summer school. If we are, what that might look like, and when we could expect to hear about this decision or idea or concept.
It's a good question.
It is indeed an excellent question, and one that we are working through. We'll need some time, and hopefully by the next meeting, we'll have a little more information about that. We do need a plan to get all our students to where they need to be for next year's learning.
And I would like to put this
And
out.
you know
Go
what?
ahead.
I'm asking that question. I do understand that, you know, everything that you're doing and everything that
Gotcha.
everyone is doing is hour by hour or day by day. I just want to also be looking at the future. And I do understand that you are dealing with what is immediate right now. So I appreciate you allowing me to look further into the future right now. And I apologize for interrupting you, Rob.
Oh, no, you're fine. Brian.
Yes, also, if we can get in our next meeting an update on how the distance learning is going. I know this is very new, but I'd be very curious to know things like the actual participation rate, how many Chromebooks have we checked out, the types of problems that we're having either on a global or on a site basis, and just some actual feedback of how this is going, how tests are going, or what it's going, whether all the teachers have game plans, but big picture, the effectiveness of doing this online. And what we're using for measures, if anything different than a normal classroom setting.
That, I would think that would also include what the public comment was earlier in the evening.
Yes.
Yes, absolutely. I mean, I know we have a lot of balls in the air, and it seems like it's really hard to get reports at this point because we have so many things we're trying to implement all at the same time. But I think it is important for people to know how things are going and how this is working. I know a lot of parents know specifically what their child is doing based on the teachers that they have. And it's very different from kid to kid, from teacher to teacher. And the questions of continuity and really equity as to whether each kid is getting the same basic education. I think this is a good opportunity now that we'll have a couple weeks underneath our belts to give an overview of what we did and how we did it. And if it has to be prolonged, which it very well may, then we can get into the other questions, not of summer school, but before summer school, like prom and graduation, and how we're going to make those decisions and what's going to come into play. Because I've heard varying comments of cancel for the rest of the year, come back for the last month. People just want to know what our thought process is, and I think that's fair to know what we're going to consider before making a decision. That's it.
No, that's an excellent comment. And I was going to ask, and you touched on it, Brian, is I think we have an obligation to our seniors at Canyon and at MHS that we, no matter what day it is, offer the graduation ceremony, not only for our student, but for that student's family as well. And if we have to hold it in July, we hold it in July because it's the only graduation from high school you're ever going to get. And I think that it's such a momentous occasion in people's lives that we need to commit to providing that, no matter what day that's going to be, is to put that forward. I don't know about promotions as much as graduation, but I'm pretty clear that the high school graduation has to be performed, and when it's deemed appropriate. And it all depends on when we get back to school. So if we're under what we're doing now all the way through, then we have to look at it at moving the date. But I want us to be mindful of that. That's one thing that we can take away from the consternation of people is, will my child, if I'm the student, will I get mine graduation? And I think we should commit to that.
100%.
Any other comments before we go home? Yes, Celine. No? Okay. If there's no further business before this body, we will stand adjourned at 8 o'clock. Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Thanks, everybody.